What is going on, Life Fitness Coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Trainer podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we are going to be discussing the old you needs to die. Now, this podcast episode is coming at the time of the start of 2025, which basically means we are at the brand new brink of the new year. And every single person on this podcast episode would like to achieve their goals. I'm assuming so, correct? Every single person listening to this podcast episode would like to make sure that 2025 is the year that every single one of their goals gets achieved. If that is true for you, just nod your head as you're tuning in. Now, the hard part about changing your life is not the goals that you set. The hard part about changing your life is the unbecoming of the person that you are right now. Because the person that you are right now, the character that you showed up with right now, the habits, the rituals, the mindsets, the beliefs, the actions, the routines, and the words that you speak have created the results that you have right now. And so everything that you are right now has created the results that you have right now. And so if you set your goal of hitting $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month, and right now you're making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month, guess what? The reason you're making that money is that's the person that you are being right now. You must be before you can become. You must embody before the results show themselves. And so this is the most challenging part of personal development. And I'm going to share a story with you, and I'm not going to tell you the details, but I'm going to share the concept because I think the concept is really helpful. Okay. When I was 17 years old, I can actually tell you the story about when I was 17, and I'll tell you the realization that I had. When I was 17 years old, I had this dream of being a pro football player. And I think that every kid, when they're that age, wants to be a professional athlete. I think that's the goal, that's the dream, that's the aspiration. And when I was in my grade 12 year, I tried out for Team Alberta. And I remember trying out for Team Alberta, and I was wearing all my gear, blah, blah, blah. Ball's in the air. I'm a safety. There was a ball getting thrown to the receiver that I was covering. And I went for the tackle. And when I went for the tackle, I took the guy down. And as soon as I took the guy down, I felt this intense pain in my shoulder. And I got up from the tackle. Instantly, I was like, oh, something's not right. I went over to the side. They pulled me aside and they said, you pinched a nerve in your shoulder. You got to sit the rest of the practice out. So sitting the rest of the practice out basically meant that I wasn't going to make the team. Now, this goal, this dream, this aspiration that I have of making the team, of being a pro football player, was literally my only dream for 3 years in high school. Grade 11, grade 12, I just dreamed about being a pro football player. So when I got this injury, I viewed that as the ultimate failure. And I started telling everyone that I wasn't going to go to university to play football because I injured my shoulder. But the truth is, I was so afraid that I was going to fail. I was so afraid that I was going to fail being a pro football player that that injury became the ultimate excuse for why I did not pursue my goals. Now, it was actually today that I had this realization. Today, I felt that version of me creeping up inside of me. And again, I'm not even going to mention what it was because that version of me is dead. But I felt that same pattern emerging where there was a little bit of adversity. And I felt myself feeling the adversity, and I felt myself wanting to continue to tell the story of why this thing was the thing and why I couldn't achieve my goals because of this one specific thing that was going on. This is what we do as people. This is how we get stuck. Let me know if you resonate with this. Something bad will happen to you, like your content. You post a piece of content, it gets 200 views. You get on 3 sales calls, they all say no. You try to start your online business, nobody signs up. And then you tell everyone that you know that you try to start your online business and it failed, that your content isn't hitting, that nobody's buying from you on your sales calls. And as soon as you keep repeating that story, you keep yourself stuck. That story is the old version of you. That story of my content doesn't hit. That story of nobody's buying. That story of I tried to start my online business and I failed. That story of this one time this mentor burned me and did me wrong. That story is the old version of you. And that version of you needs to die if you want to be successful. You can't bring that version of you into 2025. And here's the hardest part about understanding that belief. Here's the hardest part about understanding that ideology is that every single time you tell the story of your failure or why you can't be successful, you are activating that story in real time. Every time you tell the story of why you can't be successful, you are activating that story in real time. You are bringing it to the present moment. It went from the past to the present as soon as you spoke it out of your mouth. Here's the hard part about that ideology. The hard part about that ideology is you want to tell the story, right? When your content isn't hitting, nobody's reaching out, nobody's signing clients, you're not making money, or you're trying to start your business and it's failing, or you're trying to be positive and everyone's talking shit to you, you want to tell the story of how everybody's talking shit, nobody's signing up, I'm not making money, because you want to be understood by the people around you. The old version of you needs to get the validation from the story that you tell so that you can have an authentic justification for why you are not successful. That is the hardest part about transforming your life, is you literally have to shut up. You literally have to stop talking. For those of you guys listening to my podcast, how many of you guys listen to pod chats? If you do, let me know. How many times have you guys heard me on a pod chat talking to one of my clients where they start rambling about their limitations and I mute them? How many of you guys have ever seen me do that? Be on a call with my coaching clients and they're like asking me questions and then they start going off about their excuses and I literally mute them. You want to know why I do that? Because I do that to myself. I press fucking mute. As soon as I start talking about my limitations or why I can't be successful or my frustrations or my stresses, I mute myself. Nope, not today. Because that version of me can't come into 2025 if I want to achieve all my goals. The version of me that comes into 2025 that achieves all of my goals is the version of me that only speaks greatness over my life. You need to stop talking to your friends about your limitations, stop talking to yourself about your limitations, stop making the excuse for why you can't be successful, and just go all the fuck in and do everything that you need to do every single day to be successful. And understand that while you are pushing yourself, while you are trying to become a better version of you, you're going to run into some adversity. If you're trying to get better at content, you're going to suck for a while. But if every single time you get a piece of content that flops, you're like, nobody's reaching out, my content sucks, no one's buying, you're just creating that. That version of you needs to die so that the evolved content creator can emerge. You can't become the best version of you while talking about the worst version of you. It doesn't happen. You can't create a positive life with a negative mind. And you can't create positive results while you're talking about the negative ones. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't exist. That's a fairy tale. The hardest thing that you will ever do in your life is to stop talking about every single time you fail. It is the hardest thing that you will ever do in your life, is to stop talking about your failures. Stop talking about your failures. Stop talking about your limitations. Stop giving yourself excuses for why you can't be successful. Oh, I can't be successful because my kids are in school. I can't be successful because I don't have the money. I want to get started, but it's just not the right time. I want to get started, but I tried last year and I failed. Stop fucking talking about that shit. It has to die. That version of you needs to stay in 2024. The only version of you that comes into 2025 is the version of you that believes in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. When you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter the adversity that's in front of you. When you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what other people are saying about you. When you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter if your content's hitting or not. When you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter if you have a slow month, slow day, slow year. Because you know you're going to be successful. Write this down. I know I'm going to be successful. I know I'm going to be successful. If I'm thinking about the game of life and I'm in the fourth quarter, like I know that I'm going to win. And so it doesn't matter what the score says in the fourth quarter because I know I'm going to fucking win. That is the version of you that comes into this year. Write this down. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But all of these things that I'm saying to myself, all of these limitations that I'm placing on myself, all of these reasons that I'm giving myself for why I can't be successful are holding me back from doing the things that I need to do in order to grow. And so when it comes to my fears, when it comes to my frustrations, when it comes to my limitations, I press mute. I do not listen. I do not engage. I do not get involved. The only thing that I get involved with my mind is I can get involved with the thoughts of like, I know I'm going to do this. I know that this shit's possible. If one person has done it, that means it can be done. If I look up to this person and he achieved this result, that means that I can do it too. And I will not stop until I achieve the result. I will do everything in my power to become the best version of myself so that I can manifest the life that I fucking deserve. And in order for me to manifest the life that I deserve, the body that I deserve, the relationship that I deserve, the business that I deserve, the money that I deserve, I will no longer talk about how I can't make it happen. I will no longer talk about the injury that I had. I will no longer talk about the limitation that I have. I will no longer talk about how I'm in debt. I will no longer talk about how hard it is. And instead, I will focus on doing the work that I need to do to be successful every single day. And I will not allow a word of limitation to escape my mouth. I am unstoppable. The old version of you needs to die. Write this down. Don't forget it. Burn it into your brain. Bring it into today. Bring it into this week. Bring it into this month. Bring it into this year. Stop talking about your limitations. Stop telling people about your injury. Stop telling people that your content isn't hitting. Stop telling people that it's hard to grow your business. Stop speaking limitations over yourself and start speaking greatness. I'm the fucking one. My body's in peak physical shape. My body functions optimally. I'm in perfect physical health. My business is on fire. I'm in momentum. Everything I touch turns to gold. I'm so grateful to be here. Leave the old version of you in 2024 so you can bring the best version of you into 2025. That's it. Talk to you in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.